Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Let's talk a little bit more about provisioning. Here we are trying to integrate an application database application. What is meant by provisioning? Let's say it is in the layman term, right? If you talk about provisioning, creating account in your target application. Basically, if I have an application, let's say my application name, let's say here it is DB application database application. This application, it is managed by your Saviynt. Right. We are managing this application by saving via Saviynt. And if I create an account in this target application, let's say this ABC account, this user was here, a BC user. And this ABC user, if I try to provision it or I want to create an account in my target application here. That time this terminology we used to call provisioning. How this provisioning mechanism is happening. In the day one, right? In day one, when HR import the user or created the user in the Entitlements application. Right. Or in our simulation case, we are again using the same DB. They created a user here in ABC. That means this ABC user got onboarded to a company. He got selected, right? And he got off a letter. He's after that HR fill all their data in this HRMS or DB application, right? Their first name, last name, your user. I de-employed all the data they feed out here in this application. Now this ABC user is ready, right? And from here Saviynt is taking all this data. That means from this ABC user and in this HMS application, whatever he has the data, this data, it is getting faced by Saviynt, right? Through a user import. Once this user got onboarded to Saviynt and Saviynt, this user is present. If you wanted to have this user to send to the target application, why is required? Because we are managing this database application. Let's say this database application, it is a simulation of your Outlook account or any other application like your timesheet. Why somebody required their star grid application, right? They needed access to this application to perform their daily basis task. Here this ABC user, it was here, right? He need access to this application to perform that task. That is why we are going to create this account in a BC application. How this application will this access will have, right? In between your Saviynt and ABC, we have our concept called connector. This connector, it is holding your target application details like what is the credential to connect to this target application. What is the URL of this target application and what parameter required for creating this account in target application? Like your first name, last name. Everything we are mentioning is in a user. Sorry, in a create account JSON. Create account JSON. We are mentioning all this mapping parameter, right? Of A, B, C user of a first name in Saviynt. It should match to this database application first name. Same like this in Saviynt last name, it should map to the last name of your database application target application. We are matching the first name to first name, last name to last name, and those mapping information we are providing in our create account JSON. Once this connector or connection part is ready, right? After that, what we are talking, this connector cannot work alone, right? It cannot work alone. What we are doing, this connection information we are passing under a security system. What we call this security system. Security system, it's like a placeholder where it is keeping your target application information. Here I am mentioning the connection information. Again, right? The security system, it is a placeholder, right? We need another part of information, that is endpoint. Basically, I will be mentioning in the endpoint, right? Where my account or user information should get created. Those information I am going to mention again, right? Those information we will be mentioning in the endpoint. Now, once our endpoint is ready, right? What we are going to do? If you want to create a user in your target A, B, C application, I will go to incipient ARs menu. Is there, right? Menu. In ARs, I'm submitting a request access for others, right? If you go to that and select this ABC user, once you select this user, right after in the next step, it will ask you which application you want to provision the user. There I need to select this endpoint, this ABC endpoint, right? Once I select this database endpoint, once I select this database endpoint, after that I have to submit the request. Once I click on the submit request, it will generate a request ID for us, right? This request ID, it is generated to keep a track of our record, what we are doing there. Once this request ID is generated using this request ID, right? This request ID, it can be again to type, we talk, right? It can be with approval or without approval, right? Without approval. Let's say some of the critical application that might require your manager approval. We can mention that thing in the workflow here. We are giving without our approval. That means this request ID grid will be auto approved, right? Once it is auto approved, it will generate a task ID for me. Using this task ID, right? This task ID I'll be mentioning in the WS retrieve job. What this WS retrieve job again doing, right? Because we created a connection here, right? It is our Saviynt and this is our target application. All three information, it is in a different entity. Saviynt, it is a framework, right? It cannot alone do everything. It requires different artifacts, right? How it is happening? Like if you say this WS retrieve job, right? It is a piece of code. You can see pieces of code. It is written in the back end, and we have to mention what is our connection. Basically, this spells US retrieve. You know where the account should get created. We have to mention it here that it will. The account will get created because, like DB, we may have many applications. We may have our Saviynt database. We may have our ServiceNow application, right? ServiceNow application. We may have our Active Directory application. The Saviynt ABC user where this account should be created. We need to mention those information in the BOS retrieve job. Once we mention in the BOS retrieve job, right? Then, after we run the job, this account information, it is going to create it in your target database. Let's have a look here how we are going to generate the request. Log into your Saviynt environment. Click on this admin menu. Click this three-dot icon. No, not there. Go to your hours. Once you click on the hours, you have to click for request access for others. Once we click in the request access for other, pick any user who is active. Click here. Click on next. And we have to choose our application name. This is like database training save. Add to cart. Click on checkout. And click on next. It's in command. I'm just giving a simple comment. Click on submit. Once you click on submit, right, you see the request is in it, right? You can copy this username and go to task and check in the pending test, or else simple click view status. Once you go down, right, you see this is a corner and it is telling the endpoint name. Data was training save and it is requested by your admin user. And this is the comment we have given, right? And if you scroll down the task, it is telling it is already an auto approved task. Right, what is the class type? It's a new account request. And again you see your endpoint name for which we are submitting the request. What is the request type? This is like for others, not for me. What is the start date and what is the approved date? And it is approved. Once it is approved, you see there is a task appended to it. Click on this task. Right. And the task edit is written. This is your task type and the status is new. It means it is not being performed till now. Right. What we'll do now to open another tab. Again clicking this three-dot, go to your job control panel. Again go to the utility menu. And in the provisioning job, scroll down, click on action, click start. And here you have to give your endpoint name. Database running safe, chooses one. More option. Click here. Right. New account. And now submit the request. Once you submit the request, the job going to start. And let's give a minute to this. Now what it will do? It will try to see. Right? If there is any request got generated for the same application or not. If you go to the pending task, right, the job is already processed, right? It is processed. How you can check, right? Go to pending task here. Instead of pending, does not click completed task. And this is your creation date. Click on it that you know it will come with a sorted order. Right. And you see this requested. May. It is got to emulate God. And this is task ID as state new account. This is the username. And what is the account name here? Same username we're using as an acronym. This is your security system and this is your endpoint. And this is your request ID. First this request ID was generated. If it little come right, see status is completed. If anything, it'll outright that will get entire provisioning comment here. This task is not error outright. I see you have tried 1, 2, 3 tasks, which is, error. What is this error? It is showing if I scroll a little down, let me drag little right. This is stealing. There is a syntax error in your SQL. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that Charisma. Insert into Sriti. And you gave ID email, first name, last name, username 5, attribute your personal values 5, 3, 0, 0. Email you are giving null. You are not passing. The theater passing, first name, last name, your passing username was your passing. One value you were sending null prior to pass the email. ID right. And does this table exist? The __ account, yes. Asad. Isawak. This is your table information. If I search it, the G's are the data you're trying to pass. Right. Admin user is already there. You passed it. No worries. We'll get up with the email address. Susan, I think this got through your maybe input, but you created this account, right? And it didn't happen. Copy. Type here. I'll give something. genium.com and save it. Right. Now your account is saved. Review this. Will it be applied? I think it's already saved. Now let's look at your syntax. What do you have written here? Go to Identity Repository. Go to your connection. Connection 1 and 2, 3. This is your create a congestion. Right. Copy this. Create a congestion. Take it out. ID email, first name, last name, username. 3, 5 values. ID user email. User first name. User last name. User username. Finally, you are giving a this bracket refers into this one. And this bracket reversing to this one. And this is your double code of the ending. Starting with double code. I think it's good. Let's try to. Then this task again, right? Instead of complete task, let's go to pending task. This task will be completed with error out, right? Let's say it's a new request for your application, right? Request access for the. I will choose this user. Click on next. And type your application name. 2, 3. Submit this application. It says click checkout, right? Go to next. And I'll type some comment. Submit the request. This request is already originated. Click on view status. Now this is our top group. That's great. Go to task. This is your account key. And this is the user. Before processing it, let's open the log part and see how it is happening. I'll just keep the log ready. Before running the jobs, run the same on view 3. Instead of it has double sending. You have to choose 1, 2, 3 and account type. This would be new account, right? Hold on one thing. You're doing it through visiting. Then why this account? Now it is. Let's submit this request now. And let's wait what it is doing. 9 to 6. The job is finished. Let's grab the log. We have the log. Now go back to the first menu, right? Is it a fresh? This only. You pass. It's completed, right? The task is completed. If you go like for this user, copy this user. This is your username, right? Copy this username. Go back to admin menu. 3 dot. Ident repository. Click on user. Type the username here. Open this user. And click on the account. Your database account. It is created here. You can also verify. See, there is an admin and your data analyzer used to be here. You need to run the query, but it is not available in the. How are you going to check? Right. I'll go to the database, right? Same query, right? Select username. First name. Last name from the users. Save. Where username equal to. In. This was your username, right? Username is this. This is saved into this way. YNT, right? Username, comma, right. What happened to it? Now run this query. User version where username. You got the data right. Username Daniel last fiber right. This user is created in your civilian database. And we got a confirmation from the running the query as well as in the ULs in the account it is there. If you want to check same account right, whether it is present in your endpoint or not, simple. You can click here. I didn't because it would have secured a system. Open your security system right and go to the page and go to endpoint. Click here. The endpoint and go to your account. These are the account. What is it present for you? Right. Now let's see. We are doing two things here, right? In the first place, right? We created the connection. That is fine. And if this is your saving environment from here, right? If you remember, in the day one, right? This was like your HR source. HR was uploading this user information, right? And this user, what is getting created in your Saviynt system from Saviynt system? We are trying to again provision this user as an account to your target application. Let's say DB because this is a new application, right? Let's say if you have 3 users, let's say like Ram, Sam and Gopal. This 3 user you just bring by your HRMS equal to this our trusted source, right? This is your trusted resource, trusted the consolation, trusted system, right? Through this trusted source, right? HR bring back this 3 user to your Saviynt application. And this 3 user got created here, right? And again through the database, through the provisioning, right? We are bringing back this information to your database application because this database, it was a new application and the account got created. Tomorrow, let's say this is all happening for your company. Let's say Xerox company, right? You're working under a Xerox company. And HMS took the interview of this 3 candidate. This 3 candidate got passed. And then these 3 candidates are hired after that. HR, they're creating their account information here. And from here, Saviynt managing their resource. Let's say Xerox is a company who, took over another company, right? This Xerox, they took over another company. Let's say some A, B, C or XYZ company was there. It was performing well. That is why Xerox took over the company. And they said we have 500 accounts in this target application, right? And we want to merge with your Saviynt system. Or in the other way, you can tell we had already old application, legacy application in the sense the account which is present long back before Saviynt, when Saviynt was not there, right? Saviynt was not there. That time this application still exists, right? And they had 500 plus users already. These user information, right? It is there. And again, this XYZ we want to manage with Saviynt, right? That if you want to manage this XYZ application, what is the criteria? Again, there should be connectivity between them, right? And this connectivity will again be mentioning under a connector or connection. Right? Once you mention the connection, the communication should happen. But I told you, you can create the user from Saviynt to the target application, right? This Ram Sam Gopal 3 user came back here. Now the user is 543. But what about the earlier 500 user? This 500 user, right? It is there in this target application, but Saviynt doesn't have information about it, right? Saviynt doesn't know about this 500 user. Then how the Saviynt can manage this 500 user? Don't you think this 500 users should also go back to Saviynt, right? And Saviynt should handle their information as well, because you are a SOX or compliance tool and you are managing life cycle of end-to-end of users. This 500 account, whatever it was there in the target application, those account information should also go to the Saviynt and Saviynt should have their information, right? Otherwise, how this management application will happen? It should be there, right? In that case, what we can do, right? We have to do an account import. Account import. Account import. What will happen, right? All these 500 users who are sitting in this XO is your application. These will get travel to your Saviynt. Remember, if you remember one thing, I told you this was a legacy application, right? That means Saviynt was not there. But how this application 500 user came here, right? These would have created manually here everything by the admin person. And first this 500 users should have been hired by your HMN system here when Saviynt was not there. And HMS people would have informed this XYZ application owner boss. We have this user, right? You have to create here. By the time, right, like daily basis or like monthly basis, whenever the user are getting hired, that time those information would have passed to this application XYZ application team and they would have created it one by one. That is why the number is here 500. As Saviynt come into picture, Saviynt didn't hire this information. Who are the 500 user and Saviynt want to manage this application? Saviynt will call back this 500 user to his database, right? Saviynt should call back this 500 user to its database. Now what will have? Saviynt will have this 500 user in his database. And that coming logic, we used to call it as a. It is happened through account import only, right? Account import. And this is called like target reconciliation, or in other term, you call it as a non-authoritative source. This was called as your trusted reconciliation or authoritative source. And we were doing user import from here, right? User import, and the user has gone on board to save it. Now same way, it is called as a target reconciliation and it is non-authority source. From here account import will happen. Account will get imported to your Saviynt database, right? And this is called like your target reconciliation non-authority source. This is the full terminology of a reconciliation. If you remember, in the day one I told reconciliation is something by which Saviynt will receive information. Saviynt will receive information. Either it is a user input or it is an account import. Always, Saviynt is receiving information, right? From here, users were created in Saviynt, and from here, accounts are getting created. This is called, reconciliation. And if you talk about provisioning, right? Provisioning is always like Saviynt is sending information to your target application. That is called as provisioning, or you can call creating the user, updating the user, or deleting the user. In your target system, the terminology, it is called as a provisioning. Now let's look into that. What is a target reconciliation? How we are going to perform it? I said you have an application XAZDB and they have some abuser here. Let me go to this target application, right? We had import user DB account was there, right? Import user was there in the DB account, right? We provision the user. Now we'll do one more table. We'll create here and the name will give account import. And for account import, we have other section here. If you go back, right? Scroll down to your connection. If you scroll down, we have an account import section, right? Same way, like you have user import, we have account import. If I open the document, right? Simple type here. This is your database connector guide, right? It's already open. I'll search account input. If you scroll down, right? Configuring the integration of importing account, right? Here it will tell again what is the connection parameter and what is the sub. Everything will do right. Scroll down a little bit down. And you can find the JSON below. This is your JSON, right? And again the same thumb rule, right? It will ask you to perform a full import of account. Use the following similar formatting, right? Copy this value, right? Up to data mapping, copy it, go to our DB connector to JSON, right? This is for like create account. I'll create a new section here. I'll give a name, account and account import. This should be in a space. And paste this value here. These are the some of the sample value we copied, right? These are the information, right? And what is the mapping columnist is filling for importing account, right? It is for searching a security system. Let's see. If this is your saving the environment. And I have integrated this XYZ application. What does it mean if I have integrated, right? I would have created a connector here, right? And this connector, it is burned with your security system and endpoint, right? In Saviynt, you have a security system. Under that, we have your endpoint and your connection. If you remember where I showed you the account information right in the endpoint, only right. If you go to security system and open your security system and go to endpoint, open the endpoint in the account, we see all the account whatever is present, right? Basically, whenever we will do the account import again, those account information will come to here only in the endpoint. That is why it is asking like in a security system and the endpoint information. What is your security system? What is your endpoint? Where you want to import the account? If you remember, like if this is your legacy XYZ application where all your 500 users are present, if you want to bring back to Saviynt, right? Saviynt will have different endpoint or security system. Like we have database CF, another we have database 123, which you have created. We have Active Directory, lot of security system are there. Where this information should come, right? It should come to only database CF, right? Database training CF. That is why we have to manually mention what is your security system and what is your endpoint. Then only the user information will get created here, right? If you look back in your security system, right? It is mentioning security system dot system name. They have mapping. And in the endpoint, it is bringing the endpoint dot endpoint name. Basically, this information will get stored in a security system table and endpoint table. And what is my variable should be there in the table. One should have mapping field as account name. Security system. Int. And it is asking for me entitlement typos. This entire name type, you can just ignore it as of now. I'll come to this later. What is the entitlement type? I have not covered the entitlement anything right up now. Just ignore this true attribute value. I'll come to that. Because that is the last part we are going to discuss, right? Let me create the table here. What is the table name? We have given import account. Scroll down, simple double click here. And what is the thing it is asking? Let me leave a simple default column, right? Because we cannot give that a call name. Copy this according. This DB account, the import column name, keep it as a primary key only. Leave that column. We don't need that. It will auto increment. Leave this value, make it as auto increment that automatically it will fill. And we don't need to pass this value. It should have been not only to auto generate. Give the column name account name. I will give 55. And what is the second column name we have? Security system. Mention it here. Give 255 again. This is your security system gun. Then give the endpoint. And the endpoint mention the entitlement type. Entitlement type. Entitlement type after that. Entitlement value. It is asking simple. The entitled value. Give it like 255 character again. And after that, final way of status. And status should be this is fine. A simpler create the table right. And click on finish. The table is created right. Account input, just select the data. This is auto interact. Simple if I give a name, let's say around and security system. What should be the security system? If you go back here, come back to a save it. Simple. Go to admin and click secret system. I believe we should get the name or what? Database connection right. This is asking you security system dot system name. It should be system name only. Give the name as database training shape. This is your security system. And what is the endpoint name? If you open this again, our endpoint name is same right. Give this information, endpoint, name and entitlement type. We don't have anything. Simple. I'll give something that it will create. Let's see. I'll give some value like groups and content value. I'll give it a status is one simple. Apply it and let's see. Finish. It got on. We have one record here, right? This user we want to import. This account, we want to import it right now. Come back here. These are the information we have already passed, right? What is your table name here? It is account.import. Copy this table name. And here it should be from accounts. Column name. As usual, we have not changed anything or we have it is intact. We have not actually gotten right. All the column names same. Mapper description right. It should be like some description that has given. It is again, give us a share, make it as one line account, not in file excellency, and delete account false. If it doesn't exit. No exit. Leave this like that. Simple. Keep it as a simple. And this bracket also should come to here. And here it got break. Come back here. And here also give a backspace. And let's put this information to our connection. Copy and paste it here. Once you paste it here, save and test connection. Once you save it, our account input connection is ready. We should do import now. How are you going to do the input? As of now, this XYZ database, right? Whatever account import database it is ready or saving is there. And we prepare the connection right. In the connection we mentioned in the account input value. We mentioned mapping. We did write in the mapper everything. We put it here. Connection is ready. Your database is ready and save entries in. Now we have to create a job, right? That this user will come back to your saving. Again, go to the same place, right? Click on the Job Control panel. Go to Admin. Click on this threader. Go to Job Control panel. And here again, go to this database. Click on the database, right? We are earlier doing user input. Right now, you should go to account import port complete from database. Click here, right? You can create a job or utilize the same job. Not done is to click Action Start. And in the drop-down, choose your connection. Database 1, 2, 3. Now submit it. The job is running. Let's wait for a second. The job is finished. Let me capture the log as well. The 1000 line get the log. If you scroll down, we have some error, I believe. Let's see. Scroll down up where the job started. I think different connections. Sorry. I think different connections for security system. You took a different connection. B connection CF, and here you took that database connection. 1, 2, 3 per job. Is it? Start it again. Instead of CF, you telling I took 1, 2, 3. Let me do this one. I think it ran already. Maybe that's why it is not capturing. That will came to know. We came to know from here only. Right? What connection we give and what is the thing. It will capture everything. You just scroll a little up and see where the job started. Or in the down, it will be there. This was the first little worker, right? The job name is Quest Killer under worker rate. Look where it started this worker rate. It is here. Still worker rate. Work right. Work right. Here you see count import full job. Start right. Just carefully look right. This is a most important step when you are, debugging the issue. It's telling account input. Fields of start at the rate Monday. May. This time is telling date. Current connection for account input job. I have given database connection 1, 2, 3. This is the biggest mistake I did. Right. Now it's telling user passed external connection database 1, 2, 3 connection created. XML file. It is generated right. What XML it is generating? In the database connection, right? Database connection 1, 2, 3. I believe this. I have my utilize for your input or not. Account import. I did in your application, only not in my account. Actually, that is again I writing, not an issue, because what account import? I have utilized your connection, not mine connection. Data is coming from your account underscore import. That is a target application, but as I said in your note, by here you should mention where this account should go, right? We had 3 security systems. We had database training CF. We had database connection 1 to 3, or we have different Active Directory. I told no boss, instead of database CA, my data should go to database training 1, 2, 3. Now the data is trying to flee here, right? This 1, 2, 3 if in database connection 1, 2, 3 in the connection. If you do not have this information, which information this account import? Information, right? If this is missing, it will throw error. This part is there that it tried to calculate your data. And if you come back to your application, what is happening after that? It's telling connection created. There is no error. And after that get connects, then it got the data and it is trying to put that connection file, this file right into a temporary file that can evaluate it. And after that it is telling what is the final query. The query is this one we have given in our query. Select a core name security system, endpoint security type, and then status from account and scope import. This query we have utilized. This is the query it is returning. And after that results list from source database. It got the result and it is still in bus. We found one record. And this total record returned to the process 1. It found one record to process. After that, no found entitlements. Entitlement was not there. That's waiting found. For a security system data receiving safe. And endpoint database training safe. Here the error came right. Because there is a twisting happen. Here I'm telling it should go to database connection 1, 2, 3. This database connection 1, 2, 3 is a part of your, not this security system. It is a different security system, right? The security system, it belongs to this. Correct. If you open this database connection 1, 2, 3, your connection is database connection 1, 2, 3 and you have not mentioned any connection here. It will not create anything. And one more thing in here. I told my security system is database training safe and data is turning safe. But here I am putting the data in a different connection. A lot of messing with it, right? That is why it is not processed. It won't process. First thing we mentioned around connection. Second thing, provisioning connection. It is used to send the data or to provisioning purpose. If you want to create from saving to your target application, if you want to create the data, that time you record the provisioning connection. And what about, right? If you want to bring the data from the target application to save and in the other way, you required this connection. This is your connection. It is needed for your target reconciliation. You have to choose the target reconciliation connection. We are using the same connection. This mentioned the same connection. Database connection 1, 2, 3 and simply click on update. As we have mentioned, we need the security system database training 1, 3 CF and this database training CF. Let's put the same information in our original database. Click security system. Come back here. You can try also, no problem with your connection. What should we do? I'll come to that later part. Click on the database here. Once you click here, right, this is your name, right? And here likewise you have been provisioning connection. You should connection. Data is turning here and updated. If you go back to endpoint, this is your endpoint. Now it is fine. Now, what thing we copied here? This JSON we have to put in our connection. That is database training. See, open this one. Scroll down, go to your account import section. And save and test connection. Once it is saved, go to close it. Go to Job Control Panel database here. Click here and go to Account Import Action. Start it and mention your connection submitted. Let the job run. Now let's go back and refresh the URL. Scroll down. And see this time. Scheduler. Where it started. Schedule 7 same process. It started. Now data is getting sincere total record. Return to the process 1 and updating account. The account create process. Let's go back to our. This is the user we tried to import, right? Account name RAM. If you go to your security system database training, see it. Go to endpoint, go to training database, here go to accounts. See this RAM is created, right? This is like your RAM. It got created. Display name username. We have not given anything. You are not passing the username. That's fine. This user got created. If you try, you can give one other record, right? Say I'll give a call, name next time and same database connection. This security system you can mention as your own if you want to provision to your connection. That is 1, 2, 3. You have to mention your. What is your security system? What is your endpoint? These 2 attributes you can ignore as of now. Or you can pass the simple value. Same value. We don't create because we don't have any entitlement. We'll talk later about this entitlement. No worries. Because that is the last part. It will come. Sample mention like your account name, your data security system, your endpoint upper mention and mention the status. And come back to your connection. Right? In your connection, in the account parameter, pass this value and it will create your account. This is all you know if you perform an account import. We saw in your endpoint, this account would create an array. And in other way, you can find this account also in this account. Directly paste it here and hit enter. You find a lot of filter. How to find exactly? Click on advanced. Give your security system name. Database training CF. Name was RAM. And search it. Now we find the exact account. Open this account. you will find a number of activity here. And it find that updated to read it. This is how you do it, account import, and you bring the account data to here. Lastly, tomorrow we'll talk about entitlement. Because entitlement is the most common thing. Or you can say that is the actual work you do. If you take a real life example, just imagine if somebody is working in a company. Each and every person will have a designation, right? Without a designation, nobody can work in a company. If I work as a technical lead, or you were working as a senior software engineer, or somebody else working as a manager, what does it mean? Actually, it means they are entitlement to be a manager. I am entitlement to be technical, or your entitlement to be a senior software engineer. That means simple term. If you talk about entitlements, it is your right. Or it is your paging nation. You can say that you have the right to perform the task. That is called entitlement. In each and every organization, you see this guy, right? They are, some HR person, some manager, some co-worker, or some, field worker. Everything is called as an entitlement. If you talk about, like if you go for SBI Bank and try to open an account there, once you have open your account, right, you will see, if you try to log into your SBI application, there will be two options. It will ask you, like, normal login or a corporate user. If you have heard that right, if you go to SBI website, you see there is a corporate email. ID will be there. Corporate login or company login should be there. And as an end user, you have a different login. What does it mean? Basically, people who belong to the SBI, right, who are working under SBI, they have a different portal, they have to log in. That means they have a different entitlement. They are the job holder. That is why they have another entitlement. But we are as an end user. What is our entitlement? End user. For them, they are employee. Same way, if you try to conclude here everything, what is entitlement? Entitlement? If this is your save and write, and you are trying to manage a data mesh application, which you already integrated to your save end, and you are sending the user from save into here through a provisioning and from database to here. To keep up that, you are doing also a target record. Let's say when I am trying to create a user, let's say Shruti, right? This save end user I'm trying to create here in the target application. I should also mention right here, what is the job role of Shruti, right? What is the job description or job role of save end? That information should also pass, right? That information, we call it as entitlement. In database, let's say you have 3 categories. What is the first category? One category is your HR. Another category you have here, like, people manager. Another category, we have facility. Let's say, first, if you want to provision a user to this application, this user Shruti. If you want to create this user, because as for the designation, when Shruti got hired, she would have hired for a purpose, right? she will be H. A person or she will be working as a developer, right? Or she will be working under a facility. Everything you have to mention, right? Because for a purpose, you are hiring her. When she's hired, right? And she's in Saviynt, you want to provision the account to the target application where she will be actually working or performing her task. You have to mention what is her role. And in that HR role, right, you have different entitlement. Like you have floor HR, or you have like your some department. Let's say people HR, something will be there, right? And people manager under. We have manager, you have senior manager. Lot of values there. If you want to assign to one particular role here, right? Let's say you want to assign Shruti as a floor ER. Under HR department, you have a sub that is floor HR. This for HR, it will be called as an entitlement. And the top group, that is HR, this will be called as an entitlement type. HR is your entitlement. Type and floor HR is your entitlement. If I will talk like, say dog. And under dog, we have, let's say, for dog. Or for type of dog. We have like something pit bull. And we have some. What is German Shepherd? Pit bull is entitlement. German Shepherd is entitlement. But what is their groups? Right. What category they belong? This is called dog. This is your right entitlement type. Basically, it represents same in kind of group. In the real life or in the programming, if you want to club together some similarity information, that we called it as a group. And this particular HR group, if you are bringing to save it, we called it as an entitlement type. And simple if this particular entitlement, right? It is there. You are bringing. It is also same as called as entitlement type. Just remember entitlement type and entitlement, how we are exploring entitlement. Again, we'll see in the tomorrow. If you look at here, right, I was telling entitlement type and entitlement type. That is nothing. Basically, these two information only I am trying to pass. Regarding entitlement type and entitlement, how we can manage in a better way, we'll talk again tomorrow. This is your entitlement. And will tomorrow integrate or bring back some entitlement information. Right. This will create another table here. That will be continuing your entitlement in the real time. You have different table where your all entitlement will be there. See, this is accountable, right, where your account is deciding. This is like a saving database, right? I'm talking about when saving create entitlement. It is also store. Sorry, saving doesn't create entitlement. It will only bring or manage your entitlement. That will come to your entire values table. Whatever we are doing here, everything has a backend table, and those table will store all your information. We create a security system from here, right? That security system also store in a table that is called security systems. I'm just telling for your information. When you interview, they will ask you what table you know. It's security system you have here. See, like that, we have your endpoint. Endpoint table also will be here somewhere. And for each and every information what you create here, Those will be stored in your backend database. Once you go more different you will be able to understand. A lot of thing is there. How we can generate this email ID where we are passing right this email ID in the table while you are doing import user right. You are manually mentioning this email ID should auto-generate. That also will see how we can create a username also based on first name, last name. Let's say I want the user should be SR123 automatically generate. That also will see. And how we can automate this process. We need not to run the job one by one. It should automatically run, right? Those information also will sit. And slowly we'll move to including that your technical role, user update role will involve here. Several also will involve here, right? Will also involve your workflow like manager approval, right? If you raise for access, it should go to your manager. Absolutely. That also will involve here. And related to that, we'll go through how we can create a test and report analytic. A study also how we can do. We'll look into that one by one. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.